Hi, welcome to Books to Boardrooms with Dr. Kiran. Today we have Mr. Shavaye. Mr. Shavaye is the head of business development at Uber, and today we will be discussing about how Uber operates in this region, the importance of platform economy, and he being a business development head, he'll be talking in more in detail about what is business development, what is the difference between business development and sales. Hi Shavaye, can you just give me a little background about yourself?
So I actually started off my career in a very non-traditional way. I started in the family business, which was a small manufacturing plant in Durban, just off the coast of South Africa. And once I had completed that, and once I had gotten to know the family business a little bit more, I decided to join the fintech arm of one of the largest banks in South Africa, which is called Absa Bank. It was actually owned by Barclays Group at that point in time. And it was there that I learned the real power of technology. And I was super fortunate to be a part of the time period when mobile payments and the shift from online banking to mobile banking actually occurred. And once I had gone through that phase, I wanted to understand what would it be like to work in the more developed markets. So within the Barclays Group, I managed to move to the UK. And there I was a part of the Premier Rewards team. And as you know, Rewards have a range of different partnerships that they put together and deals. And every single deal that they put together is actually a full-on business. And I got a call from Uber. And what they mentioned to me is that, hey, Shavaye, we're looking for somebody who could help establish a strategic partnership and business development function based out of South Africa for the entire region. And I thought to myself, wow, this sounds like a great opportunity. I should definitely jump at it. And I went at it at full steam ahead. And now my role has expanded to beyond just sub-Saharan Africa, but also the Middle East, North Africa, and Pakistan, in total of about 7 markets.
So you are currently working as the business development head for Uber, Middle East, operating out of Middle East office. So can you just tell me a little bit about Uber? I know everybody in the world knows Uber, but what operations Uber is having in this part of the world?
Well, in the Middle East, North Africa, and Pakistan, we currently have predominantly our rides business. We used to operate our Eats business as well, but since the acquisition of Careem, we decided to divest the Eats business, and now Uber as a group has got Uber Rides, and we have the Careem business, which includes its delivery together with its rides operation.
So Uber basically work on a platform, right? It's like a platform business. So can you just give a little background about, or a little more in-depth knowledge about how does this platform economy work, or how does this business happens in a platform? So can you just share us through that information?
Sure, no problem. And I know that platform is definitely a buzzword these days. But what a platform business does is it creates value by connecting people and things together in a marketplace. And that value is incremental. So just think about it as if this platform didn't exist, the end user and the suppliers, or the demand and the supply, would not get additional value if this platform didn't exist. So right now, if you think of Uber, we have the supply side, which is driver partners. And then we have the demand side, which is people like you and I who actually use the service. And when we bring those two together on the Uber platform, which is quite a sophisticated marketplace technology in the back end, we've got a whole range of different teams that operate this platform to make it a seamless experience. So you and I might see that you might tap a button, you can go anywhere, you can get anything. But in the background, there's this huge platform business with people and technology bringing these two pieces together to create more value for you and I.
So it's basically a value creation through a platform instead of going to a physical store at one point of time, a telephone or a physical store. So you're creating I think this is coming much more important, like a third economy which is coming in today is the platform economy. A lot of companies are following Uber. Like Uber started with the rides, and then you talk about a lot of companies getting into like Zomato or a Talabat, the food business through a platform. You talk about Upworks, which is again a lot of skilled labor through a platform. So is platform going to be the next major economy going forward?
I definitely think it's one of the biggest players for the future going forward. And the reason for that is because of utilization. we've got all these individual parts of our economy that just work in isolation. And by doing that, there's only a certain portion of value that they can create. For example, like a restaurant who just works in isolation, serving the people around them who know that restaurant. But as soon as you put that restaurant onto a platform like Uber Eats, where multiple people get access to that platform and can view it, that business and the value that the restaurant get, it's far beyond what it would traditionally get. So the platform economy is helping us scale the assets and the economies or the microeconomies that exist within markets.
So, see, if you look at the platform economy, as you told that, if I'm a driver, if I'm working independently, I can only get a ride from people I know. But by being in the platform, I'm exposed to more customers. Similarly, in Uber Eats also, if I have a restaurant, maybe people around the community knows, but now I'm exposed to more. So my opportunity of getting more customers and more business is much higher because Uber is giving me a platform to do that. So isn't it easy, like if I say you are a business development manager, so your job must be very easy. So what is your role actually when you talk about a business development? So what are you developing more people to come to the platform, or what sort of business development you do for Uber?
I think that's a great question, because when you look at it, everything is so simple on the front end. So what more needs to be done? But actually, when you think of the business in totality, a tech company wants to move extremely quickly and wants to scale its operations incrementally. And what business development does is help bring value where the sum of the parts is actually greater than the whole. So, for example, instead of negotiating and putting together something with one restaurant or a few restaurants, how do you put together a deal and structure a deal across a restaurant group or a retail group that covers multiple markets across multiple geographies? And then on the ride side, we look at how to enable growth in a rapid way across our markets. And to do that, generally, sales does it on a one-to-one basis. It's transactional. And on the business development side, it's about how do we create a separate business that runs alongside both partners, that has a completely different P&L, has stakeholders and accountability built in a structure that creates its own value that didn't exist before. For example, we would partner with very, very large telcos across the region, like Vodafone in Ghana, for example. And we had a challenge there where in Ghana specifically, the access to data was one of the barriers for why people would not use an app like Uber. So one of the deals I had structured was where we could partner with a Vodafone in Ghana, who's one of the largest telcos there, to be able to zero rate the Uber app. And in that way, you immediately open up your market to tens of millions of customers that didn't have access to Uber or had a barrier there before. And thus, it creates value for Uber and also creates value for Vodafone, because Uber users are actually data users as well. So that's what business development is. It's about looking at strategic opportunities where the sum of the parts is greater than the whole.
So I think that's something. So one of the key success for platform economy is definitely the infrastructure of any country, right? In terms of your internet connectivity and other things. Otherwise, platform economy won't work. But what I want to ask you was, when you talk about this business development, and when you identified that and you went to the service provider Vodafone and made that deal so that you have more customers. So if I may ask you, what is the typical difference between a business development versus a sales? Because in some organization, people don't really see the difference between that. They can have a title of a sales manager or have a business development manager. So those MBA students or a bachelor's who really want to get into sales, if they see a designation, business development manager or sales, what is the clear differentiation? What they should do in these two roles?
Okay, I think that's a fantastic question, because these two are generally, clumped in together. They do work very well as, separate functions and are super important for business. But on the business development sides, think of it as this. If the proposition that you want to bring to market exists today, then that's not business development. And on the sales side, it is a defined proposition that has a demand already that you could take to a specific customer that's already been defined. And then you're going to them to say, hi, so-and-so, I have this great, SaaS platform that I'd like you to adopt. And adopt this product and the set product and service that we have. On the business development side, it's always about creating something new, things that don't exist today. So I would say to those who are, students, thinking about the two different pathways, sales is a defined product, and business development is where you have a white space and it's completely green fields for you to create something that is both not in your business's minds and the partner's business, but is helping a strategic objective.
So, okay, that's a very interesting topic, because business development is basically making the groundwork so that the salespeople can come and easily sell it, because this is not existing. So you make the groundwork so that the salesperson can come and then they can sell. So it can be the last part of a marketing process, I can say, sales versus business development. Do you agree to that?
Not so much, because the sales team will have a separate product that they would actually bring to market. The business development team would create something new that might not necessarily even involve sales. It would involve the traditional business and operations, so they might even set up completely new operations there, and you might not need sales. For example, it's like the Uber for Business product that we have, which is a web platform that allows businesses to transport their employees from point A to point B. That is purely on the sales side, because it's a defined product that we can take to an end user. And then, the example that I mentioned with Vodafone, that didn't exist. We had to create that, but the sales team doesn't have to be involved in that. So they do work separately once they're set up.
So for all those people who are maybe watching this interview, who are doing their studies, but want to get into business development, you being a business development head, from your experience, what can be the advice what you can offer to them so that they can be a successful business development managers in the future?
I think that's a great question. And one of the things that I think I would say to students out there is, number one is to be creative and always look out for new opportunities if you want to be in business development. Business development is the place where no one else is looking. So if you're looking at opportunities that everybody else is looking at, then that's not making your business development skill stronger. Look at opportunities where you can bring two pieces together that doesn't exist today. And that's the advice I'd like to give to students out there.
So you're saying that they need to be more creative, more thinking, and that can make them stand out from others, and that can make them a real successful business development person in the future too.
Definitely. That's what we look for.
Thanks a lot, Shavaye, for coming for this particular show and talking more about business development. Of course, people know about Uber, but my more intention was to let people know about what are the major difference between when it comes to business development versus sales, and the importance of platform economy. Because that's something the future is going to be. So all the students who are studying today may be tomorrow working for a platform economy rather than a traditional organization. So and the platform economy can be anything, can be new. It cannot be what we see today might not be the one which we see after 2 years or 3 years. So again, business development plays a very important role there. So these two things goes hand in hand. And thanks a lot for your valuable information. I'm sure most of the students who are watching this interview will find it much more interesting. Thanks a lot for coming.
Pleasure. Thank you.